Goku sits in a healing pod, amazed at how close to death he truly was. By a simple heart virus, it almost completely wiped him out. He realises now that life is dangerously short, and it won't be a battle that takes him out. It could be anything, even something as simple as a heart virus. Goku thinks back a few years to the day they defeated Frieza, remembering how he and his family held each other, all of them completely worn out after the day they had just had. Remembering that Bulma still smelt like oil, and that his sons still had blood on their hands from the battle. All of them were injured, tired and exhausted, but all of them were happy, and he almost lost all of that because of a simple heart virus. He thinks more on that day, remembering being placed in a healing pod much like this, alongside his sons, Vegeta and Nappa. All of them stayed in one of these pods for a day. Goku at the time found the feeling weird. Being weightless, floating, and feeling your body heal around you, it was a strange sensation to him. But now, he's been in this pod for a month, and it feels like home. Even though he can feel his muscles shrinking and his body growing weaker, he's just happy that he'll have a chance to see his sons grow old, have his promised rematch with Vegeta whenever the Saiyan is to return to the planet after he's done conquering the universe, causing a small chuckle to come out of Goku's mouth. He'll get to see his sons grow old, he'll get to meet his third child, he'll get to meet his best friend's child. Realising now he's so lucky Bulma had deconstructed every Frieza ship to get him this healing pod, to get him the armour he's been training with, to make it so that even when he was surprise attacked by a heart virus, he could survive and live. To help bring technology forward, she saved his life, and he's never loved her more. As he sits there floating, Bulma pops in to see him. Seeing Goku's fine, checking his vitals, making sure that the heart virus is slowly disappearing from his system, she gives her husband a small smile, saying that she misses holding him, but it's for the best right now. From what she can tell, the heart virus will be gone in a week, so he just needs to hang on for a little while longer. Saying that she loves him, she walks off, leaving Goku to his own thoughts. Goku smiles at the sight of his wife. The bump on her belly clearly has gotten much bigger, and he realises now how lucky he is to have her. Goku then spends the rest of his day meditating, thinking of ways to improve the Akari form. Having learnt that he can only activate the form with the machine, or use up loads of his own ki to make bullets wave inside of his own body, weakening him significantly, he realises that this form isn't ideal. There has to be something else. Vegeta seemed convinced this form was something different. He seemed convinced there was something more to it. So he wonders if there's something beyond what this Akari state is. And he wonders if his son's massive potential could be the key to finding out whatever it is. As Goku starts thinking about his sons, remembering how they have still continued their training, however they are also still studying alongside their mum, Gohan still aspires to be the next CEO of Capsule Corp, whereas Trunks, he isn't sure, and he's fine with that. He wants to live life a bit more adventurous than Gohan, and Trunks just needs to figure out what he wants to do. Goku smiles at the thought of his sons, and takes a second to sense their energy. Sensing them sparring against Piccolo in the gravity chamber, it gets Goku all excited, and annoyed at the same time. He wants to be there training with them, but for now he has to deal with MS training. As Goku sits meditating in this weightless water, he pictures fighting Frieza, Piccolo, Vegeta, Gohan, Trunks, all of them in a battle, slowly coming up with new ways to fight, new ways to train, and new techniques he never thought he could use, but maybe with the Akari form he can. And slowly time begins to pass, and soon a week flies by, and for the first time in 2 months, Goku is allowed out of the healing pod. It's a scary but happy moment, as people are unsure of what's going to happen. Last time Goku was out of the healing pod, he was at death's door, and now they say he has the all clear. So as the water drains and Goku touches the ground for the first time in 2 months, the hatch opens as he's face to face with his best friends and family. Everyone looks a bit wary at first before Goku stands up weakly and gives his family a smile, asking for a hug. Bulma and Gohan, Trunks all race towards the man, wrapping their arms around him as Goku weakly stands, the muscles in his legs clearly having weakened over the last 2 months, and he tries his best to float a little bit, but he's a bit out of practice with flying and walking, so Trunks and Gohan helps keep him up. As Goku spends a second walking around giving his friends and family a hug, and congratulating Chi-Chi and Krillin on their engagement. The Z-Fighters spend a bit of time celebrating, as Goku is put in a wheelchair and moved around Capsule Corp to gather all the food he can. Having not eaten in 2 months, having been solely fed through a drip, Goku is excited to be eating some normal food again, piling his plate higher than anyone else, hopefully to get some muscles back in his body, but also just to enjoy the taste of food once more. As the night goes on partying, everyone soon leaves, and Goku is left with Bulma. They sit talking about their next child. Bulma speaks of how she really wants a girl, and Goku says he doesn't care as long as it's a healthy kid. The two sit there cuddling as the night passes, and over the next few months, Goku spends time trying to get back into the flow of training. It's very hard for him, as he has to learn to not only train again, but also to walk. As Goku spends the next few weeks doing physical therapy, it doesn't take long for the Saiyan's body to get back into the flow of sparring, almost like his body has been itching to go. Only takes him a few days to be able to start walking with the assistance of a cane, then he can walk alone, then he can get back to some basic workouts, while slowly ramping up to basic sparring, soon wearing his normal weighted clothing again, and then finally spends an hour in the gravity chamber a day, slowly increasing the time as the weeks go on. But Goku doesn't spend all of his time training. With him still being very weak and fatigued, he spent a lot of his time with his family, his wife, his sons, doing anything they want, helping Bulma out around the lab, lifting some heavy objects for her once he gets his strength back, and just generally sitting around talking to her, playing out in Mount Paozu with his sons, going fishing, doing anything the boys want, even trying to help them study, with little success. And as they continue to grow and spend time with each other, Goku soon gets back to the same strength he was once at, only taking him a little bit under a month, thanks to his unique Saiyan biology. However, even with Goku fully healed, they decide to spend the rest of Bulma's pregnancy up in Mount Paozu. The woman is due to give birth any week now, so it's best for them to wait until the baby is born, not knowing the gender yet. With Goku fully back into the swing of training, one day he's training outside alongside his sons, having achieved the power he once had, if not being a little bit ahead, and that's when Bulma runs outside and panics, stopping the fight straight away. Trunks asks his mother what's wrong, with Bulma frantically announcing how West City has been destroyed. The family looks panicked as Goku takes a chance to try and sense the energy of his in-laws, but can't feel any energy in the direction of West City. Gohan asks what happened, as Trunks suspects Vegeta and Nappa might have returned, since they have been missing for years, but Gohan reminds his brother that they would have sensed their energy approaching. Trunks grits his teeth as Goku has a terrible feeling about what's going on, shouting out to his two sons, telling them to follow him. They're going to go and investigate. Bulma throws a capsule forward containing the Bloodsport machine, asking for her family to be careful. Goku gives a small nod, with them flying off as fast as possible. As they find themselves flying at the top speed they can, they are soon joined by Piccolo, who tells them that Kami sent him to figure out what happened. Goku nods, asking if either him or Kami sensed something, but Piccolo shakes his head. Goku wonders how an attack was strong enough to level a city but not be sensed, hoping it was a bomb or some sort of terrorist attack, but he doesn't feel that confident in this theory. As soon the group arrive in West City, finding it in shambles, and more importantly, they see Capsule Corp completely destroyed, with a crater left where it once stood. Tears well up in the twins' eyes as they feel a great deal of rage for their grandparents and the other people who work there. They are like family to them, as their ki begins to flare up massively at the thought of what had happened, and the rage they are feeling. But when the sound of their father's groans and his energy flaring up catch their attention, they turn to see him deflecting a ki blast with his bare hands. But this attack leaves his hands badly burned and singed. Piccolo turns around and says that he heard the attack being fired and someone laughing, but he didn't sense anything. As he says this though, a female voice speaks up, scolding someone for putting too much power into the attack, as it almost killed him in one blow. As the group look around for where the voice came from, they soon look up, seeing a blonde-haired woman flying above them, with her hands pointed down towards them. Trunks shouts out for everyone to look up, seeing the attack being charged. Goku calls for the four fighters to scatter, as a barrage of ki blasts are shot down towards the group, pummeling them straight towards the ground, making a crater upon impact. All four stand up at once to see the blonde woman walking towards them, but she's not alone, joined by a black-haired teen, who teases his sister for almost breaking their toys in one attack. As Goku looks at them, he notices the Red Ribbon Army logo on the boy's shirt, asking who the kids are. The boy laughs, apologising for not being more formal. Pointing towards the girl, he introduces her as 18, his twin sister, before pointing towards himself, saying how he is Android 17. Both of them are passion projects of the late Dr. Gero, who dreamed of killing Goku for what he had done to the Red Ribbon Army. Whereas they don't like the Doctor, they would at least like to test their newfound powers against the strongest man on Earth. Plus, if they do kill Goku, they can at least do what they wish with the planet. Gohan shouts out, asking if they are the ones who destroyed Capsule Corp. 17 nods, saying how he knew Goku would either be there or in their holiday home up in the mountains, so his sister and himself flipped a coin to guess where they would be, which was Capsule Corp, which won. So they tried to kill Goku with a surprise attack, tried to do it the proper way, so they destroyed the entire building with everyone in it. But secretly, he is happy to see Goku wasn't inside. After all, they would have never got to have fun if he had died. Hearing this, Trunks and Gohan's auras erupt once more, before calling the androids bastards as they race forward, each towards a different android. But as they go closer and closer, the android's smiles grow wider and wider. As 18 asks if they touched a nerve, the twins swing wildly towards their target, not thinking about fighting properly. They just want to kill these androids, being blinded by their rage over losing their grandparents. Piccolo and Goku, seeing this, decides to go into the fight as well, both racing forward to support a different son. Goku heads towards Gohan, while Piccolo heads towards Trunks. The androids, having not taken the twin boys seriously, start to get a bit serious when they notice the two older fighters join the fray, with 18 throwing her first hit by slamming her knee into Gohan's face, while 17 gut punches Trunks. Goku, enraged at seeing his son's hurt, races forwards towards the androids, going for a scissor kick on 18, but even with a small rage boost, Goku's kick is effortlessly blocked by the android. Goku's attack doesn't end there, however. As he sees the situation becoming more and more dire, he knows he needs to get rid of at least one android. So, Goku decides now is as good a time as any to use the Ikari form, knowing he won't be able to set the machine up properly. As he begins to power up, his hair spikes upwards as he begins to push back against Android 18. She grins confidently as Goku fully achieves the Ikari form, managing to increase the power of his kick tenfold. However, as the struggle happens for only a few seconds, soon Goku loses the strength test as 18 stops all force coming from Goku's body, grabbing his leg and throwing him straight towards the ground, making him land right next to his son, who still lays still from his previous attack. As for Piccolo, 17 all but punches through the Namekian. As Piccolo stumbles backwards, struggling to breathe, 18 flies down, kicking Piccolo towards the others. The androids realise that they won't have any fun through this fight. Seeing Goku's full power in that brief instance, they know nothing fun will come of this, so they decide that they won't be playing around anymore, deciding to finish this fight fast so they can do what they want with this planet. As they both raise their hands, going to kill the Saiyans and the Namekian in front of them, knowing they need to escape, Goku puts his hands to his head, calling out Solar Flare before instructing everyone to run, but as they start to escape, as if the androids can sense them, they are quickly followed, even while blinded. Goku knew it was a long shot, but he had hoped, much like the Frieza Force, they couldn't sense energy. But, no longer sure what to do, Goku thinks he might have to buy his son some time to escape. So, as he gets ready to turn around and start fighting, he sees the face of 18 and 17 look confused, and then he looks to the left and right of him, noticing his kid and Piccolo are missing. Rage starts to set in, as he thinks the androids have done something to them, as a yellow flare pops up around Goku. Soon, Goku feels a hand touch him on the back, and then he arrives at the lookout, stood next to his sons and Piccolo, who all yell for Goku to drop his power immediately. Goku, kinda stunned but catching on, quickly does so, powering down from the Ikari state, and then dropping down to base form, almost hitting 0 on the percentage of his power, dropping to the floor. As it takes Goku a few seconds to understand what happened, Kami explains how he had been watching the fight, and the moment things had gone poorly, he knew he had to find an opening to step in and save everyone. So he started saving them one at a time, and just left Goku till the end. That's where everyone had gone. Goku thanks Kami as he tries to figure out what to do next, knowing that even if all of them were to use the Ikari form at full power, it wouldn't be enough. But Kami comes to Piccolo with an idea, saying that if he and him were to fuse, they would become one again. They might stand a chance. Of course, Piccolo thinks this is a good idea, but knows they need Dragon Balls to revive all of those who had died during today's events. So, they need to wait a little while before doing so. Which is when Goku has the idea to use the Room of Spirit and Time, bring it up to Kami and asking if it would be possible for him and the twins to use it. Kami looks slightly hesitant, still thinking that him and Piccolo fusing is the best idea, even if it does mean losing one city. So Goku decides to make a deal with him. While him and the twins go into the time chamber to train, Piccolo and Kami collect the Dragon Balls, wish back the city, and then, when Goku and Piccolo come out, if they aren't strong enough, they can fuse. This way, all those who had died return, and Kami can still go through with his plan if needed. Piccolo agrees to this, and Kami's left a little bit unsure still, not wanting to leave the Earth defenceless for 24 hours, but he agrees. So, Goku and his sons head down to Korin's tower, grabbing a few senzu beans before heading off into the time chamber, getting ready to begin their training. All the while, Piccolo and Kami get the help of the human Z-Fighters to collect the Dragon Balls discreetly, using machines, the Nimbus, anything they can to get around the planet without using their ki. As for the androids, they prove that Bulma isn't the only one to benefit from Frieza tech being left on Earth, as they use the scout tech implanted into their bodies to try and locate Goku, but they are having no luck. After trying for an hour, they soon get bored, but they have a plan to bring the Saiyan out of hiding, so they pay a visit to the one person Goku will come running to, as they fly off towards a mountain. And that's where I'm leaving this part now. Sorry it's a bit of a shorter part and the intro is a bit weird. I was trying to cover a lot of things at the start and it was making this video drag out, so I thought if I did it in a way where Goku is explaining it in his mind, it would work a bit better. I'm not sure how this part's going to turn out, and I know it's very short for something I would normally do, but this might happen a bit more with this series, being the intermitter between a big part and another big part, so it might just suffer from becoming a bit shorter, that's all. That all being said, I do hope everyone enjoyed, and I'm keeping to my schedule so far, just barely. And yeah, that all being said, hope you have a lovely day or a great night, and hopefully I'll see you next time.